Today we're going to be talking about September 11th, 2001, which is an infamous day in American history. We're also going to talk about how it impacted Americans' war on terror. I'm sure many of you have learned about this time and time again in school, but it's a very important topic to cover. Not only that, but I'm going to give you more information as to how it changed the world around us. Well, what exactly happened? On the morning of September 11th, 4 commercial airline flights were hijacked by terrorists, who I'll discuss in a little bit. The first flight, American Airlines Flight 11, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center at 8:46 a.m. The second flight, United Airlines Flight 175, crashed into the South Tower at 9:03 a.m. Lastly, American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. The South Tower fully collapsed at 9:59 a.m. Another hijacked flight, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed into a field in Pennsylvania at 10:03 a.m. Then, the North Tower collapsed at 10:28. That was almost 3,000 American lives lost in just under 2 hours. President at the time, Bush promised to find the people behind the attacks. He addressed the nation, as well as thanked the first responders for their work of saving lives and recovering those lost. Soon after, America identified Al-Qaeda as the terrorist organization responsible for the attacks. They were responsible for other attacks as well, and the leader, Osama bin Laden, was gaining supporters all over the region for his Islamic radicalism. Bush's time in office changed American geopolitics. Opposite to his positions during his run for presidency, Bush passed a policy in which the United States could declare war against any threat to the U.S. and its citizens. This eventually led to conflicts in the Middle Eastern regions. Filkins, a journalist, even referred to it as a forever war, changing modern conflict for America. Previous relations with Afghanistan changed as the U.S. attacked al-Qaeda's new base. The U.S. used military force to fight al-Qaeda for other bombings on U.S. territories. After 9/11, Bush and his team made a plan to attack the terrorist organization. This began a long conflict with Afghanistan. Eventually, bin Laden retreated to a mountain region. This fight with the Taliban brought America into a fight with Iraq as well. Many actions were taken, such as no-fly zones, missiles, and more. The battle cost the U.S. millions of dollars. Another issue arose when the weapons inspectors of the UN clashed with the Iraq authorities. It was in efforts to withhold attacks from Iraq. Then, the U.S. began to use chemical weapons and other missiles. Hundreds of airstrikes, cruise missiles, and bombs were used. Tensions were high throughout the decade, and public denouncing of Hussein's regime was in full swing. Americans, in support of military action, encouraged the government's power to make war in Iran. Even with some Iraqi cooperation with their weapons, the U.S. engaged in attacks against the nation. Soon after, the U.S. announced that they had found no evidence of these weapons of mass destruction. The U.S. would then spend the next several years dealing with the fallout of these operations. In the end, Hussein was captured and accused of many war crimes. Overall, 9/11 and other fights on terror are very important information to understand. The battles in Afghanistan and Iraq were big fights for the United States, and the outcomes are still being seen today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on 9/11 and American fights on terror.